Welcome to the Boardman Township Report. I'm Brandon Jackson here with Chief Pitzer here at the new fire station being built currently. And while we're not very much on schedule, so can you tell us what's going on with the schedule?
Yeah, so we were slated to complete this project at the beginning of 2018 here in January. But through the construction process, we had some delays in getting materials. There's a lot of projects that were going on in Northeast Ohio. So during the summer months, we were competing for steel and things of that nature. So had some delays in some of the products that needed to be delivered to complete the project. And then here we are in the spring, and I'm sure everybody is aware that the weather hasn't cooperated with us through the winter months. It's kind of creeping and continuing on here through April now, to where we can get some of the site work done with the concrete poured, the landscaping, things of that nature. But we're on pace to complete the interior of this building and hopefully complete the whole project here at the beginning of May. So some of the things that have delayed the project is getting the concrete in. And then once we get the concrete in, we have to have adequate cure time for that concrete to harden. Because of the weight of the fire trucks. The fire truck, a typical engine weighs about 30,000 pounds. And our ladder truck weighs 64,000 pounds. So you're talking about putting weight on concrete, compressing that concrete. We need to make sure we have adequate time for that to cure. So, there's another one of the reasons why we have a little bit of a delay in getting the concrete in and to start occupying this building because of, the weather. We have good quality weather to pour concrete. Then we got to wait for that concrete to cure because of the weight of our trucks.
Very cool. Could you tell us what this room that we're in currently is?
So the room that we're standing in now here is a training room. And the reason why we have a training room is because much like other industries, like the medical profession, firefighters and paramedics and EMTs, they need to do continuing education. So every single week our firefighters come up, we do training. We train on fire operations, tactics, strategies, and then we bring in our medical control, Trumbull Memorial Hospital. They come in monthly and do continuing education to keep our paramedics and EMTs up to date on what medical procedures and how we need to be treating our patients regularly, because the medical field is always changing. So, and also with that, this room also is going to double as a community room, to where community groups, if they want to hold a meeting here, our doors are open. They can come in here, utilize this room. It's a beautiful training room. There's facilities right outside this door, bathrooms, and a little kitchenette for coffee and snacks. So we're very anxious to get in this building and very anxious to use this room.
Thank you.
All right, so the room we're standing in now, this is our garage space. We call it our apparatus bay, and we have quite a bit of equipment that we need to store. So we have a command vehicle, my vehicle. We can fit 2 engines. We can fit the ladder truck in here. We have support vehicles and a mass casualty trailer that we have here. So again, you look at this bay and it looks large, right? There's 6 bays here, but we're going to have enough equipment to fill this bay to keep our things safe and out of the weather. So we're looking forward to have this expanded room here to fit our needs.
And what do you think this building would do for your firefighters?
So this building is going to be a tremendous asset for our organization for a host of reasons. Number one is, by just moving around the corner, essentially from 224 over here to Market Street, a little bit south, is going to improve our response times to the southern end of the township, where our response times have been delayed because we don't have a fire station on the south end of town. So, that doesn't sound like a lot, but in an emergent situation, 45 to 60 seconds is going to be a huge benefit to the public on the south end of Boardman Township. Right now we also have our administrative staff is kind of split. Our fire prevention office, I had to remove our staff from that building. We had black mold in that facility. So those folks had nowhere to go, so they're operating and working out of the township building. So I have some staff at the main station, some staff out the township building, and it just has become difficult to manage the day-to-day operations. Now we're all going to be back under one roof, one building, and so we can work cohesively. So it's going to improve some efficiencies in how we operate daily.
Nice. And about how many people will be working out of this building?
So between the 3 shifts and the administrative staff that we have, we're going to have about 25 people working out of this facility.
Now joining me here is Financial Officer Bill Light. And how did we do with the budget of building this?
Well, we started out with a number, and we have successfully stayed under that number. We did have a $300,000 contingency fee that we've had to eat into because of certain things that came up. We had to attach a water line. You know, it's pretty hard to run a fire station without water. The Youngstown Water ends in front of the Center Middle School. We couldn't tap into that. I mean, you could throw a stone to hit the Youngstown Water line. But we ended up having to go to Aqua, and it came up, and we had to tie in out front. And that was $75,000, probably even more when the smoke clears, just to get water into the station. So those are the types of contingencies that we had.
The building itself looks very beautiful, and could you talk about the aesthetics of the building?
Sure. We started out when we planned on this building, Chief Pitzer, and there was a whole committee that got together. We selected the architect, we selected, gave us 4 renderings. And the first 2 were rejected before they got on the table, quite frankly. Then we came to the final 2. One was a very modern looking building, which really didn't fit the community. We just didn't feel that that was right for the community. And then this is more of a traditional firehouse. And so we were very impressed with this one. And so this is what we ended up with, a very traditional firehouse. We felt it hit the community a little bit better. It was more substantial for us. And it quite frankly, you know, it's been a great model for us.
And is there anything that people don't quite know about this building that you'd like to get out?
Yeah, so several questions I've been asked are related to this component here, this big tower. A lot of people have asked, you know, what is that? Is that just a place to hang hose to dry? Well, no, this is a 3-story training tower that is very functional, you know, component of the building for our firefighters to train. There's a window on the outside here where we can throw a ladder to. We can simulate, you know, rescues. You know, bringing a mannequin down a ladder. We can do rope bails. We can do ladder bails. It has a training standpipe system in there, much like we would simulate using in one of our commercial buildings where our firefighters have to bring the hose inside that building, hook into a standpipe, flake out the hose, you know, so on and so forth. You know, rescuing somebody down, you know, down a flight of stairs. So there's a lot of training components that go into, you know, this tower. So that's probably something I've been asked quite often is, you know, what's that tower used for? And for us, for our operations, for training, it's going to be a huge asset to our department.
Thank you. And is there anything else you'd like to add on?
No, we're just excited to, you know, have this new facility. It has been long overdue. You know, this has been on the books, and I'm sure Bill Light would talk about it. You know, we've needed a new main fire station for probably 20 years now. You know, through the economic downturn, we just haven't been able to, you know, to get there. And you know, thankfully, with the management, you know, of the township, with our board of trustees and our fiscal officer Bill Light, you know, we've been able to accomplish this and make this happen. So we're very thankful for that. And I'm looking forward to inviting the public in May to have an open house and a ribbon cutting ceremony. It's going to be very beneficial. So we're very excited in the fire department.
Okay, thank you very much, Chief Pitzer.
Thank you.
So as you can see, there's still more construction going on here, but by the end of May, we should have a ribbon cutting, and the public will be invited in to see all of the finished products for themselves. So for BSTN, I'm Brandon Jackson. Have a great day.